Welcome to Seven's coverage of the fourth round of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championships from Lakeside. You know, this race at this place always produces something a little different, and today should be no exception. Jimmy Richards has pole position over Tony Longhurst BMW, but the split is a mere 25/100ths of a second. It promises to be quite a race. Might be timely to check out the grid now, the top 10 for you. Jim Richards on pole in the Nissan with a 53.43. Tony Longhurst a little unlucky yesterday, a 53.68. Mark Skaife in the second of the Nissans out of position number 3, and Win Percy the first of the Holdens from 4. Glenn Seton from 5 in the Peter Jackson Sierra. John Bow in the Shell Sierra from 6. From 7 it's Alan Jones in the second of the B&H Bimmers. From 8.05 Peter Brock in the Mobile Commodore. From 9.28 Kevin Waldock. Out of 11 out of 10 I should say, car number 11 Larry Perkins. There's your top 10. And Dick Johnson not on the top 10 here this afternoon, but he'll be starting 2 back from there from position number 12. And a lot of work to do this afternoon for Dick Johnson. So welcome back Gary Wilkinson and Neil Crompton. Expect Longhurst to lose out in the drag to the first turn, the right-hander at the carousel. We're about 5 seconds away from round 4 of the Shell Championship, coming to you from Lakeside Raceway in Queensland. Watch the Nissans off the line. Off. Richards, goodbye everyone. And look at Win Percy, an absolutely sensational start. He'll pick up probably fourth. I think Glenn Seton will nobble him and get third as they go down to the carousel for the first time, but it'll be a Nissan 1-2. Richards leading from Skaife, then a brilliant start by Glenn Seton and the Peter Jackson, who gets a drop kick straight from Win Percy from behind. He'll come in about the middle of the field behind Peter Brock. As Steve Reed goes through and the 2 Nissans disappear, but right behind the Nissan, boy, have we got one heck of a race going.
What a shame for Glenn Seton. He made a blinding start there, but he suffered some damage too in running off the circuit, some panelling hanging off the side of the car. But look at those Nissans go up front, 1-2. What a familiar sight that's becoming.
Best start of the race. What about Dick Johnson? Out of 12, and he's sitting right in here behind Tony Longhurst. John Bower, brilliant start also in car number 18. So the 2 Dick Johnson cars on the move. So too Peter Brock.
Major change in suspension overnight for Dick Johnson and a new engine.
It's also a terrific start from Win Percy in third position. He's cleared himself away from that pack where you're likely to do some damage or scrub your tyres up trying too hard. He can concentrate now on the Nissans as we focus on this scrap between John Bow and Tony Longhurst. And Dunlop Racecam shows how hard Dick Johnson's working at the moment as he goes beneath the Dunlop Bridge. In the trickiest part of the Lakeside complex, the cars actually leap up here onto 2 wheels, then through the left-hander at Hungary. Look at Longhurst on the inside of Bow, moves through. The nimble BMW is definitely the threat this weekend.
Yes, I don't think there was any doubt that Longhurst would always lose the run to the first turn out of sheer horsepower, and the Nissans being so great off the starting line. But if Tony can put it all together, one lap after another for probably about 54 circuits here this afternoon, he could be right up there at the checkered flag.
Also a great improvement this weekend from the Mobile One Racing team, Peter Brock and Larry Perkins. They've found some speed from those cars, and you'll notice that Brock's right in behind Johnson at the moment. The Mobile cars are actually running slightly harder tyres than the Holden Racing Team entry. It'll be interesting to see which of the strategies works out in this race, where we're expecting to see some pit stops. In fact, the top 3 in last year's race all did the same. Look at Longhurst, a big rush down the inside. Percy locks a brake, one small mistake and bang.
Yes, no chance for Win to recover there.
Notice also Colin Bond there in the Caltex entry. Remember, he was last year's race winner. He was quiet all week. Took it very sensibly, and all of a sudden was leading the race and confounded all the heroes.
Yes, and he'll be adopting the same strategy again here today, running the hardest compound tyres that he can lay his hands on, and he'll just stooge around out there all day and wait for the rest of them to fall over. At least that's what he'll be hoping.
He's got Alan Jones tucked in behind him, so the order at the moment is still Jim Richards from Mark Skaife. In third place, Tony Longhurst. Fourth, we've got... And listen to this car and Brock's roar on the race cam. Distracted me from whatever it was I was saying. Good pictures.
Sounds like a proper race car.
Yes, anyway, Win Percy, I think, is 4th is what I was going to say. Then John Bow in 5th, and then Peter Brock in 6th.
Look at Percy and Johnson. Johnson on soft compound rubber. Percy, as I understand it, on fairly hard tyres going down, so he's been able to outrun Johnson to the carousel again.
Longhurst is 3.2 seconds behind Jim Richards now, so as Jim threaded through traffic, he was able to make some ground. One of the problems with the BMW is that if someone takes your line away from you or upsets you in any way, it's a hard car to spool back up the speed. As Win Percy now waves Dick Johnson by, probably realising that he's holding him up. So with the Nissan, which is quite a torquey car and the benefit of the turbo, you can afford to pull offline occasionally and get into positions that you wouldn't normally get into and drive away. With the BM, it's a car that you've got to drive 11 tenths.
Yeah, you've got to keep the momentum going.
Well, here they come down the start-finishing straight, and he's still doing it, Longhurst. It's not going to happen in the next 2 laps.
Oh, he's got the gap down to 2.4 seconds, so we have got a race.
Dick Johnson slams into pit lane. The air jacks are in, quickly drilled through. They said they could do this in about 15 seconds. The 24s had their racing life for the first few laps. I was talking to the tyre technicians. I said the track temperature is down about 7 degrees on yesterday, but the wear rate still seems to be fairly high on Johnson's car.
Thank you, Mark. Good call there as Dick Johnson comes bounding out of the pit area, and he's about to have a lap put on him by the front-running Nissans.
I put the clock on Johnson as he came into the actual pit paddock area or pit lane area from where he exited, and it was 30.75 seconds. So that's a more realistic timing of how long it takes. Just changing wheels and tyres is not necessarily what it's all about. You've got to get in and out, and that's what costs the time.
Every second in here, in a sprint race, they can see the results going down the curve, so they're going as fast as they can. All Jack's clear, Percy out.
Peter, I was just saying, you're working to try and catch John Bowe. What can you do about him?
Unfortunately, I'm down a bit on horsepower, but I'm just conserving at the moment. I've got a bit of an eye on Glenn Seton behind me, but I could just have to concentrate on just getting a few clean laps together and give the car a bit of a respite, because there's no point in beating it around if I can't pass Bowie.
Peter, how are the tyres holding up? You decided to go for some fairly hard stuff.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
A little bit of understeer there. Seto's gone by. We might let Peter go back to work, and we'll chat to him after. You'll come and hammer me after this now.
He sure will. Looks like the Dulux Auto Colour Commodore there on the infield. I'm not going to talk to him. I put the muckers on everyone 2 weeks ago. Johnson stopped, and when I was talking to Brock, he stopped.
And when Brock talks to Crompton, he'll stop.
Oh, the problem for Terry Finnegan, the Foodtown Commodore. Got just a little tailie off the top of the Motorcraft hill. Around sideways, able to pick it back up, so the Foodtown Commodore continues with Terry Finnegan at the wheel. We take the Nissan race cam, sits on top of Mark Skaife's GT-R. He comes on to the home straight here at Lakeside. Great overview of the circuit. To the left-hand peak now down the inside. The white Commodore, and there's his team partner Jimmy Richards just up ahead.
I think you'll find the race will slow down towards the end.
You're hoping?
Well, you better believe it. Otherwise, I've wasted my time. I would have been better off having a beer, eh?
Coming down for the approach shot to Hungary corner.
In fact, the 4 cars, Bowe, Seton, Brock, Jones, are separated by very, very little. And there goes Jonesy through on the inside. That tyre squealing that you could hear was Brock's, obviously.
But Jones all the time is closing. Now here's Seton. They are, John, get on with it, he said.
Give him a nudge there and knock a bit of body work off the back of John Bowe's car.
Glenn says that's fair. He copped one in the first corner. Oh, and he's rubbing a tyre too, so that's going to really add to the woes. And now here comes Glenn Seton, again down.
56.1 on that last lap for the guys, so they've drifted away by about 2 seconds from their earlier qualifying, very obviously. I'm surprised the times are still that good. This damage on the right rear of Bowe's car is not good news for the 8.
Jones, 18. Look at him. Oh, gee, he had a big go there.
Certainly has. Now that's going to keep Glenn busy here for a moment or two. As they come screaming beneath the Dunlop Bridge, they head downhill to the left-hander at Hungary corner. Watch Jones on the inside. Here he is, nibbling away here in the little bimmer. Jones would be just thoroughly enjoying all of this. He'd prefer to be up the top end of the field, giving them a hammering.
Step out of the pits.
Nissan race cam in Mark Skaife's car. He's in second spot. Jim Richards not in view at this moment. There he is, just disappearing in the distance. Still leading the race. Skaife in second. Tony Longhurst running third.
Here goes Jimbo. Going to give it one hell of a try. Goodbye. Now he's got to try and get the anchors on and try and hold Jonesy out. Jonesy is going to try and go around the outside, is he?
Yeah, try and snooker Seton behind Waldock. That's what he'll try and do. No, he's run out of road.
The big drama for this poor guy is that the Nissan makes about its first 4 seconds in the first 300 yards. They're so astonishing off the line with the benefit of four-wheel drive. It's very hard in any form of motor racing to give an immediate gap to a competitor and then get it back, particularly if you're on a reasonably equal standing in terms of lap speed.
It's pretty close. Could be the last corner coming up as they come out, heading down towards the start-finishing line.
The
Checkered flag is out, and across the line they go. Coming home to beat teammate Mark Skaife in the number 2 Nissan for second. Third going to Tony Longhurst. Fourth to Glenn Seton, and should be fifth to Alan Jones.
We knew that the BMW was going to be hard to beat, and Jimmy drove fantastically well. We tortured each other for the whole distance.
I looked at my stopwatch, and I don't know whether I've got a happy trigger figure, but I saw heaps of low 54s. Was that right?
Well, I think it was, but the sun's so bad you couldn't see it anyway. All I saw was him getting away from me, and I was trying to catch.
All right, and to the winner, Jim Richards. Well done, Jimmy. Everybody was thrilled to see another fine win from you. You must be pleased.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, for sure. You know, Mark's a hard guy to have behind you, I can tell you. I think I'd rather have Tony.